Hey, welcome to another episode of Behind the Bar podcast, brought to you by the coaches and clients of RT Fitness Durham, Sunderland, and of course the Barbell Club and the Barbell Club Online, where we take you from complete beginner to photo shoot level results. So on today's episode, we have Coach Emma from Fitness all the way in Edinburgh, and she specialises in women's health, particularly in the pre-postnatal and menopause stages of their life. Absolute cracking show. She's an absolutely brilliant coach, good laugh along the way as well, and I'm just asking her questions and she's just firing off some little golden nuggets to help you on your journey. Links below to follow her below here. And of course, always just please subscribe, please comment on the show so we can keep firing these out. It's a good one today, so enjoy. Ready?
Ready.
Right then. Who is Fitness and what inspired you to start this business?
Oh, that's a good
I mean,
one.
your name's Emma, like. Yeah, not Fitness.
Well, my name's Emma Hockayam, so it's the initials, my initials, but it's also the Edinburgh postcode. So it all worked out very well. So what is Fitness? So we train women only, specialise in pre and postnatal and menopause, but it's just so important. Like, for me, it's about women having this power and control over their health and fitness. There's so many different stages in a woman's life, with hormones, with life choices, with work, with everything that can really throw us off balance. And it's about bringing back that control, so that what's life if you're not living happy and fulfilled, right? So it's about bringing that back to women. And what inspired me to do this? Well, what inspires any PT to start a business, right? It's the fact that there's so much misinformation out there. It's the fact that we've been through our own transformation, the fact that we've found joy in fitness, and we just know that other people can as well. And it's, like, if we have this ability to do it for ourselves and then to pass that on to others, why would we not?
You're going to be good at this one, aren't you? Let's make sure that's recording. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, did you rehearse that?
I didn't, but I'm so proud of myself.
That was really good. So I've got a list of questions here, but I tend to go off track.
Yeah, cool.
And plus, like I said at the start, Sarah would probably be better for this. So I am like a male monkey listening to these kind of things, because we do have a lot of women. I mean, we've got about 60% women clients across our units and online. So yeah, I am a monkey. Just remember that. So, like, as an online coach specialising in women's health, like particularly postnatal and menopause, what motivates you to work in this area?
So the fact that these stages of a woman's life can change everything for them. The statistics on how many women leave jobs because they're going through this transition period, it completely changes them. Imagine, like, all the hormones that you have in your body that regulates you, that keeps you happy, that keeps you motivated, that gets you up in the morning, that drives you, like, all of that gone, and you feel like there's just nothing there. Like, this happens to so many women, and it's just shocking that there's not as much help out there as there really should be. So I think there's such a big gap between fitness instructors, PTs or coaches and GPs, that we can really bridge that gap there. For what we do, we are preventing them from going to the GP to get, what's the word I'm looking for? This happens to me all the time.
Like prevention or not?
So we are reactive. That's what I'm looking for. GPs are reactive. They're reacting to people are coming to them with something and they're reacting to it. We can prevent them from even getting to that stage where they have to go there. And just for I forgot what the question was actually.
Like, obviously, online coach specialising in women's health, particularly pre-postnatal menopause. Like, what motivates you to work in this area?
Basically, so
you were on track.
So basically, the gap between, like, fitness coaches, PTs, anything, and GPs are reactive to what symptoms or struggles people are going through, whereas we can prevent that from happening. So if we can bridge this period of time could be years in a woman's life where they're suffering thinking that they're the only ones going through this, that this is just the way it is, this is just how life's supposed to be, I'm going through the menopause, it's this, it's that. It doesn't have to be like that. So if we can reduce that time where they're feeling not like themselves, depressed, unhappy, then that's what drives me.
It's mad, like, how you just said that there, between like a health coach to a doctor. We can bridge the gap because they have to be prescriptive.
Yeah.
And it's just whatever they've been told to prescribe to, like, these are your symptoms, okay, wait, this is we prescribe. But it is more of the health professional now has to level up in these areas to do it. And I hear it's so much now. This is one thing what I didn't even hear it. How many years ago did I hear it? I didn't even know what the menopause was. Not many years ago.
Did, or do.
But it's really been brought to the forefront now, I feel. Mm-hmm. I mean, you probably know more. Do you feel as though it is?
100%.
Yeah.
So it's mad, like when you think about it, 100% of the population are affected by menopause.
Yeah.
Because you'll have a sister, a partner, a mum, a daughter who will go through it. 100% of the population are affected by this. 51% of the population are females and will go through it. And it's only the last couple of years that we're really talking about something that is going to start impacting a woman's life at around about from the age of potentially 37 onwards. And then you're in postmenopause for the rest of your life as well. So it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It's that people go like, oh, I skipped the menopause, or I didn't. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Like, this lasts forever. So the fact that we're only just talking about it now is just crazy. But it's good that we are talking about it now, because there's things that we can do, and there's things that we can do to make women's lives easier, and also men's life as well, because at the end of the day, if it's something that's affecting your wife, it's affecting you as well, isn't it? Like, you're watching somebody going through this that you love, and it can be really debilitating for people. So yeah, forgot the question again.
No, I went off on a side tangent. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it.
This is the story of my life.
No, it's good.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Just keep going. Fine. Nobody knows.
The millions of viewers.
Oh, but yeah, me millions. I'm super famous.
Do you know there's another RT Fitness on Instagram?
Is there?
It's got like 18,000 followers. So I went to follow you and I was like, that's not Ross.
Right, okay.
Who's this guy? This guy's really into going to the gym here.
Do you know what? I think there's actually a YouTube channel like RT Fitness, which is huge as well.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about them.
No, we don't talk
Who
about
are them? Yeah. I'll get back to my questions. Who is RT Fitness? How did you first get into fitness coaching, and what led you to specifically on women's health?
Yeah, okay. So I used to live in Dubai, and when I moved back because I was pregnant with my son, who's turning 6 in April. So about 6 years ago, after I had him. So I've just moved back to the UK, and I was like, am I allowed to swear on this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't worry, yeah.
So when I moved back from Dubai, so I was pregnant, I had my son, and I was like, what the fuck am I going to do for work? Like, I don't want to be going out to do a 9-to-5 job and have my son and not raise him or not be there for him. And also, when I lived in Dubai, I had a really sweet job. I was cabin crew. So it was like, I was traveling the world, I was getting paid an absolute fortune for it, and I had zero responsibilities. So I was like, I don't really want to go into like anything else where I have to have responsibilities. So I started doing mum and baby classes.
Right.
So I trained as a coach. I would take my son in a carrier, and and other women would be there with their kids, and we would exercise with resistance on us, which was our babies. And it's a great way for us to like bond with our kids, to hang out together, but also exercise as well. Then
hold on, you were killing 2 birds, 1 stone there, really, weren't you?
Totally, yeah.
With 3, fitness, babysitting, and working. Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
Excellent.
So I was like doing classes with like 20 women in them, with all of us, with our babies, and then we'd all go for coffee afterwards. It was lifestyle. It was lovely. And then I did my pre and postnatal qualification, and I was like, this is nonsense. This doesn't really tell us anything. I then trained with a company who were saying that we should be doing planks as postnatal women, which 100% of women who have a baby at their due date have abdominal separation. About 57% of them in the first 6 weeks will go back, but then you need to manipulate the other ones. We need to encourage it. Now, fun fact, when we fall pregnant, there's a signal that's like a neurotransmitter that sends from our brain to our core, tells us to basically switch off. Now I'm using that word, it's like fitness coaches will be like, there's no such thing as switching off, but let's just say for layman's terms.
Oh, fuck them, don't worry about them. Yeah.
So for layman's terms, let's just say it switches off. There's no science to show that there's any signal after you've given birth that will say, okay, let's start working again. So everything that we're doing, our muscles are working, but they're not specifically connected in the way that they should have been before. So if you're doing a plank, that's a lot of intra-abdominal pressure on your abdominals, which if you have abdominal separation, that pressure coming through is only going to separate it further.
Okay.
So if you're doing a plank, how many people do you know that do a plank and hold their breath? Right? And when they first start. So that's just pressure. So then I was like, hold on a second, this is a qualification for postnatal that are telling you to do this thing that surely that's actually going to cause damage. So I qualified in postnatal corrective exercise.
Okay.
To see, okay, well, what's happening here? How do we fix it? How do we change things? And women were coming to me all the time with issues like they were peeing their pants, they had lower back pain, there were just so many things like hip pain. Everything's linked and everything's connected. And I was like, why is there nobody telling us how to fix this once we've given birth? Like you get a 6-week check from the health visitor or the midwife who comes, they poke your belly and they go, yeah, you're fine to go.
You too, yeah.
Yeah, on you go, on I go, what? Yeah, just continue as you're doing. And I was like, this is so ridiculous. So I was like, I'm going to change the world. And I did. No.
You did. Complete.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm retired. So that's how I got into it. And then it just really organically evolved from there. So I did the mum and baby classes, and then I started doing boot camps for women only. And then I started realising, okay, well actually the women that I'm training are all going through this thing called menopause. What is menopause? And I should really know about this. And then the more that I started looking into it, the more it grows arms and legs everywhere. But really the fundamental points is the same. If you eat well, if you strength train, if you prioritise your sleep, not Netflix, sleep.
But we do love a good bit Netflix.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But you know when you get to like that 7th episode and it's like midnight and you're up at like 6 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
Not prioritising that.
No, it isn't.
So there's just certain things but the thing is when people are in a stage of not feeling good, they just think, well, this is just it. And I just thought, do you know what, there's so many things that we could really be coaching people through. Again, I forgot the question.
Just keep going, man.
That was it.
I don't even know which question it was now.
I think it was just like how I got into it.
Yeah,
so
specifically
that's how I got into it, and that's how it evolved.
That's pretty good. Like, do you know, like with say people when they do have the baby, and then it is that 6-week checkup.
Yeah.
I mean, you yourself, as we do, like people will be like phoning us after week 4, like, oh, I've got 2 weeks left.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we need the sign off from the doctors first. Would you recommend further?
It's a really tricky one. So it depends how the birth was. So
which everybody's is completely different.
Completely different. If you've had a section, you've gone through major surgery.
Yep.
Major surgery.
Yeah.
So
they've cut you open and something's come out of you.
Mental.
Yeah.
They've sewed you back up again, but they've cut your muscles.
Yeah.
Major surgery. But the thing is, people are so desperate to get back to some sort of normality because their body's completely changed. Their mind has completely changed as well. Like hormones are going everywhere. Like for you to feel different things that you felt before is fine. It's okay. You don't have to rush back to your pre-body weight straight away. It's about strengthening, and I think there's not enough education around that. There's not enough spoken about. This should be like really drilled in throughout pregnancies. You want your body to be strong after you've had your baby. Like if you're carrying extra weight, you have the rest of your life to get rid of that, if that's what you want to do. But just now, let's rehab your body so that it's as strong or stronger than it was before you fell pregnant. And that's where there should be more education about. So when people phone you and say like, oh yeah, so many weeks to go, I want to get back to training.
Well, the phone is in hospital. I've just had it. 6 weeks.
I'm in labour. When can I start? I've got to pause it. I think there should be some sort of movement assessment done for women, and this for me would be a lot of how's your how's your core working? Like, are you able to control your core? Because that depends what we're asking them to do. Everything that we do in exercise is core controlled, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're using our core for everything. So if you're not able to raise your head when you're lying down without having a bulge here, then your core's not ready for you to do certain exercises. So that's the sort of assessments that we really should be doing. And then start them off with gentle movement and then add as we're going. But it's all about teaching women how to listen to their body, because we're not connected to our bodies. Like, so many people aren't connected to their bodies. Where are you feeling that pain? Well, I'm not really sure. In my back.
Yeah.
Where in your back? Just in my back. We're not connected to our bodies. So that's another thing we could do. A course for women. There should be something within the NHS that they
now
say,
to the business podcast.
Yeah. Exactly. When I did the podcast with FMA, they asked me at the end, like, if you were Prime Minister for a day, what's the one thing you would change? And I said, every single person who has a baby should have to do a 6-week course, mandatory afterwards, to make sure that their body is in a good place to start exercising again. Even to not start exercising, but just for you. Because if you think about it, if you're lifting up your baby, you're not engaging your core, hinging at the hips, like, you're just picking up, and then this is the bad form. Or if you're not engaging those muscles properly, your back goes, and then your hips go, and then you're broken. Then you're getting out of bed like, it's
God. I find it mad. Obviously, I am man, so it's like, but how fast people do want to get back to this normality, but their life is not normal at that moment in time. You could be breastfeeding for every hour of the fucking day. Your sleep's not on point, but they're desperate to get back in the gym. And it's like, I can't comprehend that, because for me, I feel as though it's like, just take longer for yourself. You've just had a baby.
Society.
Yeah, I suppose. Is it pressure? Or?
Imagine in 9 months, in a 9-month period, you gained 3 stone.
Yeah.
Your ankles swelled up. You felt shit.
Sarah gained 4 stone, and she hates us that. There's this little story behind it, but she gained 4 stone through it, and she's smaller.
Water retention. You don't look how you looked before. You're then thinking things like, you don't want to really go out. You don't have clothes that fit you. Does your partner still find you attractive? Like, you're thinking all this stuff, and then you've just birthed a baby.
You've duplicated.
And then you're taking, as I said, hormones are all over the place afterwards. Like, you really want to just get back to feeling how you felt before. But this is again where the education comes in, to say it's okay. It's okay to not feel how you did before, but this is how we build on it. Rather than also the health visitors, when they come around, how are you feeling? How's your mental health? You don't really always feel like you want to tell.
You're always going to say I'm alright.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another society thing. We just get on with it. We always just get on with stuff. We give ourselves that excuse all the time. Oh, it's fine. I'll deal with this later. I've got other things to do. But actually, if we gave ourselves permission to be in touch with our own feelings and our own thoughts, and actually said, well, why am I feeling like this, and what's caused this, and what can I do to feel better? And then be vulnerable and say to people, I'm not feeling great, I'm feeling a little bit shit. And then people will go oh, but it's normal, you've just had a baby. Well, no, it's common. But is it normal? Because it's not normal that our heads are all over the place, or our thoughts are all over the place and stuff. It's common. But when we say it's normal, we just excuse it and say, well, it's fine.
Well, I like that different phrasing. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to take it.
Yeah, cool. You've got it on the podcast.
No, it is. It is because Sarah actually did look after herself. She didn't jump straight into a gym session or anything like that.
But that's because she knows.
Yeah, well, she did split in 2 as well. So
oh God.
So she did have quite a bad birth, but she still took her time, and it was her time was I am mum mode, and it's that's it. I don't care about it if I'll drop weight when it comes off. Do you know what I mean? She wasn't, even though her job has to be, say, to look good or whatever else, she didn't give a shit really, to be fair, and actually did what she was supposed to.
Do you think that's because she understands the value of our internal bodies being strong?
Right.
And because it's her profession, she knows, she coaches people to be strong physically and mentally, so she knows the value of that. Do you think that's why? Or
Probably because she's split in two, to be fair. Yeah. But I don't know. I think she took it in probably a different way. I think she did just actually go mum mode, and it was like she just like obviously she brought the baby in to see everybody and everybody else. But even though she did gain like a lot of weight, it wasn't even at the forefront for her. I think she's been lucky in that sense. Even though probably the pressure for her might have been more than just the everyday person. Yeah. To look good, feel good, whatever else, and maybe to bounce back and like where you do see some fitness people, it's like, look at me, I had a baby 2 weeks ago and I've lost 9 stone. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I'm smaller than I was.
Yeah. But then when they get in the house, they're fucking dead.
Yeah, that's it, exactly, yeah.
But it's all for a front, and I suppose those pressures are getting people to come back to the gym too fast.
Yeah. So we need more people like Sarah showing the stages of afterwards and where she is now. Yeah.
Because I have seen other fitness professionals in the past have a baby and post the before and afters.
Yeah.
And it's like, you were in fucking hospital 9 months pregnant. Yeah. Of course you've lost X amount. And I know that you'll feel like absolute shit because of your sleep, but they don't show that. They want to sell the program, don't they?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, 100%. So after I gave birth to Daniel, like what people would typically say is bounced back, but it didn't. Like I still had abdominal separation that nobody raised. Like, nobody told me that I had this. It was from my own investigation that I found this out. And if I hadn't done the work to heal it, like that could have, like I could not potentially not be doing what I'm doing as a job now, because that's so abdominal separation you can get 10, 15, 20 years after having a kid. If you've never focused on that engagement
I've seen it in women like many years later, like you can actually see.
Yeah. But it's never too late. It can always be healed. Yeah.
Cool. I don't even know where we're at.
I forgot what we were saying.
No, it's all right. It's all good, man.
Do like a bloopers on like, I forgot what that question was.
Bloopers.
I forgot what that
was. I can't be asked to edit all that.
I know.
Jesus. What do you think is the biggest challenge women face when it comes to maintaining fitness during pre and postnatal stages, and how do you help them overcome it?
I would say the biggest challenge that women face when it comes to maintaining fitness during a stage in their life that's like their pre-menopause or post is exhaustion, like feeling absolutely exhausted. So most of my clients are full-time work. They're in quite high professions, quite high pressure jobs. They're putting everything into that and then feeling absolutely exhausted at the end of the day. So coming home and being like, well, I'd much rather just sit on the sofa, watch Netflix, have a glass of wine to wind down, than go out exercising. So that's definitely the biggest challenge that I see women facing. This is one of the first things that I work on with women though when they come in, is getting those energy levels up. And that's through stuff like, do they need to supplement with something that they're not currently getting in their diet? What does their diet currently look like? When are they eating as well? Because what you'll find is a lot of women will eat on the go, because they're doing this drop off, or they've got this club for their kids, and then they're working here, and then they've got this meeting, and then they're cooking the dinner, but they're cooking 4 different dinners because the family likes different things, and then lost my train of thought again.
How do they overcome it? Biggest challenges maintaining.
So that's what I was saying. So basically, when looking at how they're eating, when they're eating, but then also like adding things in, like sleep hygiene, like how are they sleeping, what are they doing when they go to bed, like this sort of thing. So just like that's the biggest challenge, is exhaustion, but it's also one of the, I think, easiest things to fix immediately. To gain a little bit more energy, because as soon as you have a good night's sleep, everything changes.
Yeah.
You make better choices the next day, your cognitive function is better, the brain fog goes slightly, and then you feel like, okay, well, I can maybe do some exercise, and then that becomes habit. So yeah, biggest challenge is definitely feeling tired, but it's actually, although it doesn't seem like it at the beginning, one of the easiest things that we can make small adaptations to their daily lifestyle to overcome that.
With you being an online coach, obviously our business is through our Instagrams or whatever else. How the fuck do you switch off then and not look at your phone on the night?
So I work really hard at doing this.
Yeah.
So I try, and I do most of the time, have my phone switched off for 9 o'clock.
Right.
So that's airplane mode and away from me. I'll do 10-minute meditation before I go to sleep.
Okay,
which
nice.
Is massive. Breath work is the most underrated thing that nobody does.
Yeah.
Some people do it. But the act of doing breath work, so the inhale and exhale, is regulating your nervous system. And it just slows everything down, and it brings everything back into the present moment so that you are calm and ready to go to sleep. When we breathe, there's a hormone that's created that slows everything down, that preps our body for sleep. So doing that for even 5 minutes before you go to sleep is massive for actually getting into good sleep. And I just think, like, I've got a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
I've got a 6-year-old with additional needs, so it's a lot busier than most. I run a business. I train myself. I want to see my friends. I want to do all of this stuff. If I'm sitting on my phone until like whatever time and not switching off, I'm not at my highest or my peak in order to fit all of that into my life. And these are the things that are important to me. So I just think like I'm really big on understanding like what makes me happy. Right. And what brings happiness to me, and how do I want my life to be fulfilled. There's this thing in the Japanese culture called ikigai.
Okay.
And it means...
I didn't know we were going this way. Yeah. Keep going, love it.
It means purpose. So in Japan, they believe that everybody has a purpose, and if you always aim to fulfill your purpose in life, you'll always be happy.
Right. Okay.
So what is your purpose? Your purpose is what makes you happy. So I spend a lot of time like listing like what brings me happiness, what am I engaging in that brings me happiness, and then what could I engage in more of that brings me happiness. Like, you know, like sometimes running your own business, it's really hard to see your friends. Yeah. And actually you could be around one of your friends that you literally leave feeling like you've just had like one of those like, what are the injection things that gives you energy, that sort of thing. You just feel uplifted. That's the sort of things that I really try and focus on doing more of. Because then if you're doing more of that, you've got less time in your life for all the shitty things to come around. So you don't actually engage in that. So when I'm focusing on that sort of stuff, I think, well, scrolling actually isn't bringing me that happiness. Yeah. It's just a habit that we do. So I need to switch off, and I need to have that time. And at the end of the day, like, I can answer my phone tomorrow. Yeah. Nothing's going to change. Like, if somebody's inquiring about joining, they're still going to be thinking about it tomorrow. Yeah. I don't need to answer them straight away. If somebody messages me, a friend, they don't need a response straight away. Like, nothing's going to happen in the 12 hours of me switching my phone off to switching it back on the next morning. Yeah. And I also try and not engage in anything work-wise before 9 o'clock. Okay. So before I drop my son off at school, I want all my energy to go to that, to him, and the time that I've got there. See, I've got mine set on... So mine goes into sleep mode. Yeah, it goes into sleep. How many times do you switch off sleep mode? I don't. Good. Yeah, I'm really, really good at it. Actually, that's lies. Complete not lies. No, because I will. It's like it'll go. So generally I will. So generally I won't touch it, and then it is like I will, even though it's sleep mode, and then like I'll scroll it up, even though the notifications aren't coming through or anything, and even when you open your phone, the notifications don't come through. But then I'll click on my email. Yeah, so I've got all my notifications switched off. It's just this mad little fucking click-word mentality, but yeah. So there's like, I mean, you know, like all these like business podcasts and stuff like that will say like you should have like times of the day where you check your emails. I've started trying to follow that. Yeah. So like I'll check them at 9 o'clock in the morning, and also so obviously all my clients are online. So our communication is through, we use an app, we have an instant messenger on there, so our communication is through there. It's really hard to be doing stuff on the app, like programming or something like that, and see the inbox like going out without checking it. But then, like, I'm not there to be I'm not there 24/7. Yeah. I'm still, like, nothing's immediate, nothing needs to be, like, addressed straight away. I'm not there for emergencies, I'm there to coach you through life stuff. Yes. So I feel like we need to get into our heads, and it's really hard as business owners to not think I need to respond right now. Yeah. But we don't. Yeah. And we need to like realize that, because at the end of the day you'll just end up burnt out. But I have all my notifications switched off.
Yeah, I don't.
Apart from WhatsApp now, because I felt like I was going into my phone to check if I had any WhatsApps. Even
Right,
if I
okay.
didn't. So I have WhatsApp on, but everything else, every single other notification is switched off.
Yeah, my Instagram, Facebook notifications are off. The only things what I turned on is the business pages for the Facebook. I get the messages for them, but they're few and far between those ones. It's so that I'm comfortable with them.
Because they're all going to the other RT Fitness.
Yeah. I hope not. I want the clients. How do you go? I think we've covered that one actually. In your experience, what are some common misconceptions women have about fitness during pre-postnatal or menopause stages? Misconceptions.
Let's just change that to misconceptions that women have at any stage.
Okay.
Lifting weights will make you bulky.
Okay.
I hear that all the time. I hear people saying like, I really want to tone, but I don't want to get muscle.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
if only if it was that easy. I've been trying for years.
It'll take you a long time to get bulky. But toning is building muscle.
Yeah.
So that's but that's an education thing, isn't it? Like, and if you think about it, like this is first generation of women lifting weights right now.
It really is, yeah. And I love it, yeah.
I love it as well. The only way as well so like after the age of 35, you have a 2 to 4% decrease in your muscle mass basically every single year. If you're not lifting weights, you're going to end up, I always refer it as well to like, the old people you see at bus stops, like all kind of like hunched over and like, you think a gust of wind's just going to blow them away because they've got no muscle mass. And it's like, if you're not building muscle, your quality of life is going to drop regardless. Like whatever age you get to, your quality of life every single year is going to get lower and lower because you're not physically strong. And bone density is a huge thing for any women in that sort of era of their life. Their bone density, the only way to increase your bone density is by lifting weights. The only way. So yeah, bulky is definitely a misconception. Oh, the calories that they should be eating. Oh, I don't want to eat more than 1,200 calories. Are you a child? My son eats more than 1,200 calories and he's 5.
So I'll tell you what, straight into that one, it's like, because we'll set people up. So say the lowest weight goes 1,700 calories. Yeah. Okay, that's what we always like sort of stick to.
Unless they're like teeny tiny, right?
Unless they're teeny tiny and like, let's say some of our photo shoot prep people, one client, Jennifer, she's like 50 kilos. I've still only got her on 1,500.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
She moves loads, but it's when people, like from our end, you're going to get it, and that's why I want to ask your opinion on it. It's like, they've started off and we set them at 1,700, and it's like, but I only lose weight on 1,200. Yeah. But they're overweight. Yeah. They're like fucking 6 stone overweight. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
They're not eating 1,200.
What do you say to these people?
I say, it's really difficult. So I explain it.
Yeah.
So I explain like, okay, maybe previously, potentially you have been eating 1,200. Your body is going to adjust. So your body can only maintain a deficit, a surplus or maintenance for 3 to 4 months before it believes that is its maintenance. So say you start at 1,700, and you're there for 4 months, you have to drop to lose weight. And if you stay there for 4 months, you have to drop to lose weight. You have to drop. But you're feeling exhausted. Like you're not fueling properly at all. You're not able to lift the weight, so you are able to lift. But what we do with our members is they come in, we ask everybody to track. Now, I know that some people don't enjoy tracking, but the way that I view it is you're tracking now so you don't have to track later. Yeah. And you want to get an understanding of how your body works. If you don't understand if you're eating a certain type of food or a different type of food, if you're getting more energy from that, if you don't understand that, then you're not in touch with your body at all. So we'll ask them, week 1, track as you currently eat. Every single thing that passes your lips, I want to see that on MyFitnessPal. And I tell them, I don't give a fuck how you're currently eating. What I care about is what we do moving forward. You could be eating like the whole of Sainsbury's for all I care. My job is to get you progress here, not to judge what you've already been doing or what you're currently doing. But if you can show me how you currently eat for week 1, so we set them at maintenance, which is normally around about 2,200, 2,100 for most women is their maintenance. So we set them at that.
Especially if they're bigger as well.
Especially if they're bigger, yeah, totally. The thing that's the funniest though when we're setting any sort of like targets is the protein, because then if they're bigger they should be on about 180 grams of protein,
Yeah.
but you just know they're going to freak out when they see that, so you drop it to like 120 just to ease them in gently. But yeah, so we'll do 1 week of tracking how they currently eat, and then week 2 we'll set the target. So that's when we would drop them to the potential like 17, 18, 100 sort of thing. And we say, okay, focus on protein. And this is when people start going, oh my God, like they were eating 40 grams of protein before.
Yeah.
You know, that's how they currently eat 40 grams of protein and
Mm-hmm.
like 480 carbs, like that sort of ratio. And then they switch it and they start eating more protein and they're like, I'm so full.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, there you go. What difference from week 1 to week 2 here? So now what we're going to do, I then look at how they're eating and I say, okay, this is where you can make an adjustment. So they're having cornflakes for breakfast. I say, switch that for Greek yogurt and fruit. See how you feel. And we switch one thing a week. We don't go in with, this is a whole new thing. We do it really gradually and one thing a week so that they can start to feel the changes that they're having and start to see it and recognise it. And then they start going, I don't know, I could eat all this. I'm struggling to eat all my calories because I'm so full. And then they go, oh my God, what was I eating before?
But that's one of the things what they always say though, isn't it? It's like, I feel too, especially when they overhaul it straight away and they start eating lower calorie foods and then say they can't consume 1800 calories because it's all good food, we'll say. But they think that they're eating more than what they were before, but they're not.
They're not, and a lot of the time when it comes to this, it's habit. So they will be waiting for their kettle to boil and they'll have 3 biscuits in that time.
Yeah.
But they don't record that because they're not actually acknowledging that they're doing it because it's habit. So when they start coaching with like people like us, and we're educating them on what they're actually doing, so then they start becoming aware of it. And this is when they start saying, oh, I feel like I'm eating so much. Well, you're just having different types of food. You're having food that actually fills you up now and is fueling your body well rather than foods that's just going in and out really. I think it's really exciting when you get to a point where women have gone 40, 45 years eating the way that they eat, and then you just change their life just by their diet, and it's easy as well. How
happy are you when you can see some of them hitting more than like say 140 grams of protein?
Buzzing.
Yeah,
absolutely buzzing.
Yeah.
So I've got this client. It was actually one of my first ever online clients, Amanda. She is incredible. In her words, she completed Netflix. That's what she says. Yeah. She had no idea what protein was. She didn't have a clue about calories. And since June, so she started with me in June there, she's lost 19 kilograms.
Oh, amazing, yeah.
And she just keeps going, who am I? I got up and I went for a run. She's hitting like 180 grams of protein.
Oh, wow.
She's nailing it. She's doing the photo shoot actually as well.
Oh, brilliant.
Absolutely nailing it. And she's just like, I can't believe that I went so long not being the person I am now.
Yeah.
And she's gone for like promotion. She stood up on stage, she accepted an award, like all of this stuff and stuff. I'm buzzing every time something like this happens, because I've been there as well.
Yeah.
And I've had these moments of like, okay, that's how it works. Oh, okay, well, now I'm actually building muscle. I'm actually got the physique that I really wanted to have my whole life, but 20 minutes on the treadmill, 20 minutes on a cross trainer, 20 minutes on a bike, wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
Cut my calories to 1200, wasn't doing it. So I'm constantly getting these little moments that I know how good they feel.
Yeah.
So when somebody else gets it, I'm there for them. Like I'm like buzzing, biggest cheerleader.
And how much do you bang your head off the wall when you're saying protein every week?
When I'm saying protein every
when you're
week,
saying,
when I'm saying it today,
yes,
we need to increase the protein. We need to.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's funny, right? Because it honestly just baffles me how people can't get their protein up.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, I'm currently training for High Rocks.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to qualify for World Championships with my friend. Now my coach is now my coach. So my employee, Karen, is now my coach. And he's obviously a professional athlete, so his way of doing things is very different. So we are very slow and very steady, and he's like, let's get the protein in, let's lift heavy, boom, let's do it. So he's got me on 250 grams of protein just now.
Fucking hell.
I know.
Well done.
I'm literally just a walking
That's a mixed grill, isn't it? Yeah.
And I'm hitting it every single day. So that when people can't hit 130, I'm like,
yeah.
That's my breakfast.
Pretty much, yeah.
But I do think that it's when you've never looked at this in your life. It's like learning a new language. It's like us thinking like, okay, you've been in Spain for 3 weeks. How are you not fluent?
Yeah.
You know, so I always think about it like this. Like, so it's our job to educate them on how to do it. And if they're really struggling to do it, like this is why we really go through like their MyFitnessPal with a fine tooth comb. So I'll say like you've still got like 50 grams of carbs to have or something like, or sorry, 50 grams of protein to have, but you're over on your carbs. You just adjust your portion sizes and that's you, boom, done. And like, it's about telling them like 100 grams of Greek yogurt is 10 grams of protein. That's a spoonful. That's it. And I always do like a lot of research myself into products that we can use. So there's a company that have just created these protein collagen gels. So you know, like when you're refueling with a gel, like a nice gel, it's collagen protein. 20 grams in just one gel, and it's 85 calories.
I've had the shots before, actually.
Yeah,
collagen shots years ago.
These ones as well. I mean, I'm not endorsed by them, but they're called Ethos. And they're endorsed by Informed Sport. So there's like they're good products.
Right. Okay.
So I'll try it myself first, and then I'll introduce it to my members. So if somebody's getting like 130 grams of protein, their target's 150. They only need an extra 20. There you go. That's a gel.
It's even trying to just get them to that 100 mark. Like
I know.
It is like we've got a lot of clients, and it's still just trying to say like, look, a protein and this, and then they come back with, I've been eating it all day, and I say, well, what have you had? Like a chicken nugget.
I sniffed it.
Well, yeah, but it's like one chicken breast, but then it's been a small chicken breast, and then it's like, well, what do you have for your breakfast? It was like protein Weetabix, but there's only 8 grams in 2 bits. It's not really even protein.
Exactly. And then sometimes as well, it's like it's not even the protein Weetabix or protein something compared to the normal one. It's not that big a difference at all.
Prices.
But what I do find, so we'll have a real look at stuff like how many coffees are you having in a day, for example. So we have a client. And if she ever saw this, she would laugh because she'll know exactly who I'm talking to. She'll know it's her straight away. So she's one of my oldest clients, like from day dot. She's very good fitness, high fitness level. She was in the army. Like she nails everything. Her nutrition, she's so shit at it. Like she's much better now, but she was previously really, really shit at it. And I'm just like, how are you not nailing this? Like you should. But I can't remember what my train of thought was while I was starting that.
Coffee, protein intake.
Caffeine? Coffee. She'll start her day with a coffee before any water.
Yeah.
She'll then have a coffee at like 9 o'clock before our meetings, and then another one at 11, and then she's not hungry until like 12.
Right.
And I'm like, hello. That's because you've suppressed your appetite for the first 5 hours of your day by drinking coffee. How about we reduce that to 1 coffee? How about we have our litre of water first, then our breakfast, make that high protein, then have a coffee. And then you're good for your lunch. But if you're suppressing your appetite with coffee, you're removing 5 hours of eating in your day where you can't fit all that food in. And also when it comes around to eating protein, like protein fills you up. You then feel like, oh my God, I'm so full. I can't really stomach this anymore. Prioritize. And I just say to them, like, you know what? It's up to you. Like, you can pay me if you want, but if you're not getting the results, like, I'm not enjoying this. So what results do you want? You came to me asking for me to help you to lose weight, feel stronger, and get fitter. If you're not listening to my advice, you're not going to get there. If you just make this small adjustment, and I'll show them like over a year, like if you make this adjustment for breakfast, this is the potential weight loss, fitness gain, or whatever that you can make over this period of time. So I really show them it visually. So that they can,
that. Yeah.
So it's like steps, getting their steps in. If you can work out based on their weight, if they got an extra, like how many people do you know that just do like 2,500 steps a day?
Yeah, we were just talking to Georgia there. Did you?
Really?
Did you hear the conversation or not? No.
No.
I was nice to her though, wasn't I?
How many steps did she get?
Yeah, she was saying 4,000 to 5,000, wasn't she? Something like that. And I was trying to call bullshit, saying you only do 3.
Yeah.
But then
so see if you work that out based on her weight. I mean, stuff like AI is going to give you this information really quickly. Like, say it's like a 90 kilogram woman walking 5,000 steps a day. Roughly, how many calories will that burn? and multiply that by 365 and then divide that by 3,500, which is a pound of fat, and say to her, you could lose a stone in the next 12 months by only increasing your steps by 4,000 a day.
Yeah, so showing the compound effect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's by only doing that.
Yeah.
That's not if you tune your diet and add in an extra session here. That's just by increasing your steps.
Yeah.
That could be done by walking to here and walking back, depending on how far she lives, obviously.
Yeah.
Wouldn't work if it was Edinburgh.
No.
I lose a lot of weight.
Yeah.
But by showing them that, and by saying, by you just doing this one thing, equally show them the opposite way.
I do. Do you know? I was about to say I do that. I did a post in the group the other day about a compound effect of a Costa coffee.
Yeah.
Of like, if you take 5 of those out your diet a week, say you had the Monday to Friday, you would lose X amount over the year. And actually, I put it down to how much you would save in money, and then how much you would save over the 10 years. And I think it was 22 grand, something like that. But showing them visually, and it actually got engagement, that one. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
sometimes in our group, they're like, "Fucking here he goes again."
Well, this is the thing. Like, we always need to remember that we are trying to educate from a point of we know it. We know most of this stuff.
Yeah.
We live and breathe it. It's our life. Like, we know what's going to do it, and it's easy to preach when we know it, but we need to think about the person that we're speaking to, who doesn't live and breathe it.
Yes.
Who wants to, but isn't there yet. So we need to. It's all about our language and how we. Like I always say, a good coach is somebody that can make something easy to understand.
Yeah. And
easy to see the vision. We can tell people what to do, but nobody likes being told what to do they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I did it for, actually, when I'm thinking of it now, where you obviously pre-frame everything for people, I did do it to one girl who's like, well, this is if we hit, say, 10,000 steps till now to then, and then it was like where she wanted to do a photo shoot months down the line. It was like, well, this is what weight you're going to be here, this is what weight you're going to be here, but these are the things what we've got to put in play to make sure that those steps are getting hit along the way.
And I think an important thing as well to highlight, especially for clients who have a lot of weight to lose, is that when they come to the sessions, they max out on the weights, which is great, but we're probably only burning like 350 calories or something like that. And then because they've maxed out, they're in bits for days afterwards. The DOMs are like heavy for the next couple of days. Walking increases blood flow, which helps you to recover quicker. So if you want to do everything more and heavier and faster and whatever, get out walking. That's going to improve your recovery massively, which means that you can then do, instead of 3 sessions a week, you do 4 sessions a week.
So are you big on steps? Like, are you big on people getting outside of gym activity?
I'm big on, movement outside, but it's all dependent on their lifestyle. Like, if I'm coaching somebody who's a partner in a law firm, for example, with 2 kids, is the priority for them getting out and getting their steps in? Or is the priority for them actually wellness, so like winding down so that they can sleep better, so that they are making better choices the next day and actually more recovered than anything else? So it's specific to the individual, because you know what, if you have no time in your day and you're getting told get out and get your steps done, you're just going to be like, fuck off. Like, where am I finding this time?
No wonder I get told to fuck off so much then.
Might be one of them.
Yeah, because thing is, like, Sarah like does a lot of people's nutrition. She does, like, say, try and build them up from, say, 6,000 a day to 7,000 a day. Do you know what I mean? Those small steps. But I'm like that, like fucking how 10,000, man. Let's just fucking get it in, man. And
well, also there's different things that we can be doing. So if they can't get those steps in, you have to let them see, like, okay, well, you will need to reduce your calories.
Yeah, like, which isn't fun.
It's not fun. No, I would much rather eat 3,000 calories a day and get out and get walking outside, get in nature, get that movement in, than cut into like 1,700 calories and being a little bit miserable. But also that's based on me currently eating like that, about that much. So.
But we all like to read.
That's
exactly.
The thing. Yeah. And if you like chocolate, you can have that in your diet, but you just do other things that makes it easier for you to have that in your diet and still hit your targets. It's not about restriction, it's about being smart.
It's because Georgia, because I was ill last week, I had flu, so I basically put in the group how many calories I burned because one day I actually only hit less than 1,000 steps.
Well, yeah.
And then another day was like 2,000, and then I showed a day where I hit like just under 11,000, but I showed the calories burned across those 3 days, and I was like trying to show like for those people who were only hitting 3,000, 4,000 steps, look at the difference. Yeah. This is the difference, and it was like 900 calories different to what I would normally burn.
Yeah.
Obviously I would go to the gym, but doesn't really pick up the gym session, to be fair. Like you said, it doesn't burn as much as what you think. It's only 300-400 calories. So yeah, that was the difference, and that what Georgia was saying, because she was saying, I seen your fucking post, didn't I? So I'm going to up my steps a little bit.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's it. But then that's the difference. So it's showing them.
Yeah.
Like, this is why you have to make changes, because again, it's so easy for us to just say like you should be doing this and you should be doing that. But if people aren't understanding the reason behind it, the way that I think I coach is that I try and educate them so that they don't always have to be with me. I'd love for people to be with me for the rest of their life, obviously, but sometimes it's not realistic to have a PT forever. Mm-hmm. So I always think I'm going to give you as much information as I can so that you can do this on your own. And that's how we should all coach.
Nice. Let's go to the... I think these questions are pretty much all the same.
Did you write them or Sarah wrote them?
I wrote them actually. Yeah. I think where they sort of cover like between them all. We'll go to what advice would you give to a woman who feel intimidated? Yeah, actually this one. Yeah. What advice would you give to a woman who feel intimidated or unsure about starting a fitness routine during prenatal, postnatal, or postnatal or menopause? What advice would you give to a woman who feel intimidated or unsure about starting?
The advice I'd give to any woman that's feeling nervous or intimidated about starting at any stage, but especially like pre-postnatal or during menopause, is it's only going to get better.
Yeah.
So make sure that you're training with somebody who knows their stuff though. So if you're, especially postnatal, if you're getting a PT who's never worked with postnatal women before, they have no idea how your body's working probably. Yeah. So make sure that you're doing your research on the person that you're using. And it's just that it's so easy to say just get started, but that's not always the case. So do your research and just bear in mind like where you are now is always going to be the worst place.
Yeah.
Because it can only get better.
So we only work with like if somebody has started with us, but then say they get pregnant within the first few weeks, it's like we don't actually coach them after that, just because they're not conditioned.
Yeah.
And obviously where the journey of where they're starting, and obviously those first few early weeks, like we literally just say like, sorry, we can't help.
Yeah.
But for the clients who have been with us a while and say they get pregnant, we'll happily train them throughout because they've been conditioned.
Yeah.
That's us maybe covering our own backs or whatever else, but we're very like straight up with people. It's like, sorry, we give them the money back and all the rest of it.
Smart.
Yeah.
Would you just not do like a little course so that you know? Because the thing is, actually, it's really in maybe about 6 months is when you have to start making the real changes.
Yeah.
So the best thing for a woman to do is train throughout their pregnancy.
Yeah.
So but they are strong. But do you have someone that you can pass them on to?
Yeah, we do. We can. But it's the people who have just started, and then we get inquiries of like people who have just found out they're pregnant, but they want to start training now. Yeah. But for those people, we just say no. We pass them on. Like we say, look, this person's more of a specialist in that area, because we don't know them. Yeah. But for the people who have been with us a while,
don't know what they can actually lift. How heavy they
can lift. Are
they pushing themselves too much? What is their natural like highest heart rate?
Yeah.
And are they going way over that? Like that sort of stuff. So yeah.
And it's not like we want to like, because some clients come in and we want to aggressively progress them throughout the training because they want results yesterday.
Don't we all?
But for those kind of women like who have just found out they're pregnant or anything like that, like we can't take them on that normal trajectory. It's more specialist then, I would say, especially if they're wanting to get fitter but just found out they're pregnant. Yeah. I mean, am I right or wrong in that way?
So for you guys without the experience of it, you're right to do that. I would take somebody on if they've just found out they're pregnant. Yeah. But then I would be programming in a different way than I would normally. and I would be coaching them around more of listening to their body to understand their limits.
Yeah.
But I think for a woman to train throughout their pregnancy, there's nothing more beneficial that they can do for themselves, because they're priming themselves for one of the most intense things that they're going to do to their body.
Yeah, I've seen it 3 times.
Yeah. Like, literally. So that's to be in a position where you're in that delivery room feeling good and feeling strong. That's also one of the things that's going to help you to bounce back afterwards, or to recover well. But everybody just uses the bounce back term, which is a bit stupid, but it's the thing that's going to allow you to recover well afterwards if your body is already in a conditioned place, rather than, it's like, I don't know what a comparison is.
I don't even know. Like, when I've seen it happen, it's like, I'm like an outsider, like, what the fuck's going on?
No, we're thinking the exact same thing. But wait, is it not mental that our bodies are built to do that?
Well, I always think of it like, I think of it as such an alien type thing of like, because you're duplicating yourself, like you're like growing this thing inside of you, and then it's like, it doesn't like crawl out. But then you're like, there's double, like it's fucking.
And isn't it just mental that then you get past the baby and then like a day later they're like, goodbye.
Oh yeah.
What do I do?
Well, from me, like where Sarah like had to go straight to like the emergency room afterwards, like they just passed me the baby and it's like, the fuck?
Sarah, come back. I need you.
But and honestly, I was that. I'm gonna sound horribly because I was that tired, but like obviously Sarah was. Do you know what I mean? I was like dropping off a little bit. It's like, I'll put him back in the thing. Yeah, I sound shit, don't I? But I even ate Sarah's sandwiches as well, like while she was going through it.
You can't make it better now.
I know. Everyone knows the story. Happy days. I love that. Where can we find you and what else? Tell us.
So Instagram, _fitness_Edinburgh.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Like, as like I train women to become healthier, happier, to live their life to the fullest. I think I have a real holistic approach to health. And that's about it, yeah.
And some courses coming out soon.
And some courses coming out soon.
Thank you very much. Do we share? Come here.
Thank you.
Thank you.